Welcome back to Mac Talks Football, and it's that time of the week when we look ahead at the weekends of football in the Premier League and make our prediction, and then we sit back and watch how many of our predictions are right and how many of them turn out to be wrong at the end of the weekend. On this channel, we play along with a point system. For every correct prediction, it's 3 points. If your prediction is right but the score line is not correct, you get 2 points. And we at the end of the weekend we see how many points we are able to make, and then we calculate this week's points with the rest of the other week's points, and we'll see how much total we have accumulated every weekend. So let's get right into it with the predictions. The first game is West Ham versus Chelsea. Now both these teams have sort of had a stop start to the season. They have not really been that good, but they have not been that bad. Last week West Ham they played Fulham. It was a 1-1 draw. I thought that was a game that West Ham should have won with the players that they have, but they were not able to win that game. The start of the season has not been that impressive, especially with the signings that they have made and the squad that they have. I thought they were going to have a better start to the season. They're playing against a Chelsea side who themselves have been hit and a miss. 1 week they will be spectacular, but the next week you will see them struggling. They scraped through against Bournemouth with that 1-0 win. It was a big win for them. I really did not think that they were going to win. That was my prediction as well, but they won, but as I said, they barely won that game. It was a very close game, and I expected Chelsea to have a bad season, but I expected West Ham to have a good season. This weekend West Ham are back at their home. This is the game that it is a derby as well, London derby. Both these teams actually they hate each other because of the proximity of where they play. I think it is going to be a tough game, a fierce game, and I think this is the game where West Ham can really make a statement, and if they win this game, I think it would be very huge for them. Chelsea, I really don't know which Chelsea is gonna turn up, because as I said, 1 week they are really good and the other week they are dreadful. I said in my previews and in the predictions before the season that this was going to be a season like that for Chelsea. I predicted them to finish ninth. I said this was going to be a transitional season. They are going to suffer a lot, and I think the suffering is going to continue this week. They won last week, but they did not really play that good, and I think this weekend and they are playing against a West Ham side who are going to be really up for it. West Ham really need to win, and I think this game is going to be one where they may get that statement win and they basically kickstart their season. In my opinion, I'm going for a comfortable win for West Ham. I'm going for a 3-1 win for West Ham against Chelsea. Moving on to the next game, it is Aston Villa versus Wolverhampton Wanderers. Now Aston Villa had a great start to the season. They won last week against Everton 3. It was quite a fun game to watch. It was quite entertaining. They followed it up with their first ever Champions League win midweek. That was a great performance for them, and now they are back. They are going to be at home at Villa Park as well, so that is a big advantage for them, because some of the teams who played in the Champions League are traveling away. So I think Villa got the better end of the deal in that regards, to be very honest with you. As I said, they have had a great start to the season, and I think it is going to continue. They are playing a Wolves side who have been quite horrendous, to be very honest with you. I did not think that Wolves were going to have such a bad start to the season. I thought that they would be like in the upper they would finish mid-table, but like in the upper half, like your 10, 11, 12. That's what my prediction was regarding Wolves, but they have been really bad. They lost to Newcastle last week as well. They were at home. I thought it was going to be a close game, but it wasn't really that close, to be very honest with you. And I'm not really impressed with Wolves that much, because they are not really able to play the football that I expected them to, and I think unfortunately for them, they are gonna continue to stay suffer defeats. They are still winless. They have not won a single game till now, and I think that's gonna continue. I am going for an easy 2-0 win for Aston Villa. Moving on to the next game, it is a Fulham versus Newcastle. and like Fulham lost on the opening day, but after that they have been undefeated, but they have only won once. Their last two games have been draws, and then like they are playing a good football, but they are not able to get the results that they want. I was quite impressed with them last weekend with their draw against West Ham. Before that they went away to Ipswich. I thought they were going to win that game, but they drew that game. I thought that was a very that was not a really good performance from them. But in the West Ham game, I thought that they were really good. They are now playing against a Newcastle team. Like they are undefeated. They are looking really good. They have won 3 times already out of the 4. So like they have had a really good start to the season. Newcastle, they are going away to Fulham, which is not really easy to go to. You can ask West Ham that they went there last weekend, and I thought West Ham were going to win, but Fulham were really up for it. Again, I think it is going to be quite a tough game. And I think Newcastle are gonna remain unbeaten, but I don't think they win that one. I think Fulham are gonna get their third straight draw in a row, and I'm going for a 2-all draw between Fulham and Newcastle. The next game, it is Southampton versus Ipswich Town. I know if before the start of the season I would have predicted Southampton to win, because I thought that they were going to be one of the teams that are safe at the end of the season. I didn't think that they were going to get relegated. I thought Ipswich were going to get relegated. I still hold on to the fact, but if we are talking about this game, like Southampton have been a dreadful 4 games played, 4 losses. They have scored just once, and they are looking really bad. They are not playing good football. They are not creating chances. They are not able to defend as well. So it is looking really bleak for them. Ipswich, on the other hand, they have not really won till now, but they have played good football. Even in the games that they have lost, they have still played a good football. They drew last week against Brighton, which I thought was a shock result. It was a huge point for Ipswich, because I certainly thought that Brighton were going to win, and of course Southampton got destroyed by Manchester United 3-0. So yeah, that was quite a fun game for Man United, but not for Southampton. And that is why I think this is the game that Southampton would really want to win, because not only would that get them to back, like they would get their first point, they would get to winning ways, but they are playing basically a direct rival for relegation. They are at home, and you expect Southampton to get the the win, but I really don't think that is going to happen. You could say the same thing, like Ipswich know that how important this game is, and especially if they get that win away from home, then in the second half of the season, when both of these teams will be under real pressure, Southampton have to come to Ipswich, so they will have that advantage. So early on they are going away to Southampton. It's a big game. Like it's not a top of the table clash like the game on Sunday between Arsenal and City, but it's a very huge game early on in the season, and I think the away side are gonna nick it, to be very honest with you. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think Ipswich win this one and they get their first win of the Premier League this season. I'm going for a 2-1 win for Ipswich Town. Moving on to the next game, it's Tottenham versus Brentford, another London derby. Tottenham lost last week, and they would be really angry about it. They need a response. The Spurs fans would be wanting a response from their team, because like I'll be very honest, they were really bad in that game against Arsenal. Arsenal outplayed them completely off the park, and they like the strategy that Arteta applied worked brilliantly, and was not able to outplay him in any way. Like the tactics and the way that the team played, the Spurs were really back then. In midweek they went to Coventry for the Carabao Cup, and I mean they got lucky in that game as well. For they got the winner in almost in the extra time. So like the Spurs fans are not really impressed with how the team is performing, and they are playing now against a Brentford side. To be very honest with you, I think this could be like Brentford would have been the worst side for Tottenham to face in under these circumstances. Brentford have played 4-1-2 lost, but the two teams they have lost against is Liverpool and Manchester City, and they were really good against City last week. Like Pep Guardiola himself praised Thomas Frank and the Brentford team a lot because they were really good in that game, and they are now gonna play against a Tottenham side like we because that like really like to attack, and that high line and is could be turn out to be a big problem. Again, Brentford love to play attacking football, they love to counter attack, they are an attack minded side. Thomas Frank's style of football, now everybody knows already that how he likes to play, so I think it's going to be an entertaining game, quite fun game to watch. There are going to be goals in this game for sure, and I'm not I'm not saying this as an Arsenal fan, but I think we are gonna see another meltdown for Spurs. But I really think Brentford might go ahead and nick it, and I think Tottenham might suffer another defeat. I'm going for a surprise. I don't think that it's going to be that much surprise, but I still think it will be quite upsetting for Spurs fans. I'm going for a 3-2 Brentford win against Tottenham. The next game is Leicester City versus Everton. The two teams who in my opinion have been the worst in the league till now, even worse than Southampton, even though Leicester have 2 points, but the way that they have played, I mean, it has been quite dreadful, to be very honest with you. Everton, they are bottom of the league at the moment. Leicester like 17 something, they have grown 2 times, so they have 2 points. They drew against Crystal Palace last weekend. I think that was a sort of a good performance from them, and in a way they would be disappointed that they were not able to get something more out of that game, but I thought it was a fair result. They are playing against Everton again, who have lost 4 on a row. They lost last week against Aston Villa as well, but they were never really in that game, if I'm being very honest with you. I think it's a big game, same like Southampton and Ipswich. I think Everton are and Leicester are going to be in a relegation scrap of come at the end of the season, and I think it is very important for both these teams to get something out of this, and I think it is going to be not an exciting, but I think it's going to be a boring game, to be very honest with you. Both these teams are low on confidence. Both these teams have already been bored of the field by their own fans at their home stadium, so it's already looking really bad for them. Sean Dyche is under immense pressure, and so is Steve Cooper. Like when I did my preview about 2 months ago, I said that the first manager to get the sack in the Premier League is going to be Steve Cooper for Leicester, because I was not really impressed with that appointment. But the way the things are going on, Sean Dyche might take the lead and become the first guy to go. But I think both these teams have been really poor, so it is going to be not a good game of football, if I'm being very honest. I'm going for a 0-0 draw between Leicester City and Everton. The next game is Liverpool versus Bournemouth. Now Liverpool, they suffered a shock defeat last week at the hand of Forest. Like nobody expected that to happen. That spoiled their 100% record of the season, and the mindset that they were having, and the thinking that they were gonna really be challenging for the title. They are still gonna challenge for the title, but they never thought that they were gonna experience a hiccup like this on the way. But it's a Premier League, anything can happen, as I keep on saying. So it was a weird performance by Liverpool. That was they did not play like the Liverpool that have played in the first 2-3 games of the season. But I think it is gonna happen sometime. There are gonna be games like this where you don't really play to up to your potential, and you're gonna you're gonna pay for it, and they did. But in the midweek they won against Milan in the Champions League, so they would have that confidence coming into this game, and they would want their fans would want a response, and the Liverpool players would want to give a response. They are again an Anfield, and they are playing a Bournemouth side who have been hit and miss, to be very honest with you. I thought they were gonna suffer. I thought they were gonna have a struggling season this year, and especially after Solanke gone, I thought it was going to be quite a tough season for them. They lost to Chelsea last weekend 1-0. It was quite a close game, but unfortunately for them, they were not able to get a point out of it, and I think they are gonna continue with their losing ways. I think Liverpool win this one quite comfortably. I think it is going to be a 2-0 win for Liverpool. The next game is Crystal Palace versus Manchester United. Now Crystal Palace have not had the start of the season that a lot of people expected from them. They are languishing around 16. They are still winless in the league, so they would really want to go ahead and get their first win of the season. Last week I thought it was a best chance for them against Leicester. They were at home as well, but they dropped 2 points. They drew 2-2 with them, so they would really want to get that first win quickly, so they can sort of kickstart their season. They are playing against a Manchester United side who won 3-0 last time around against Southampton. I thought that was quite a good performance from Man United. They needed that sort of a performance after the 2 consecutive defeats that they suffered. But again, this is Manchester United. You don't really know what they are gonna do every weekend. Now they are, if it was any normal team like let's say Arsenal, City, Liverpool, you would have quite easily said that they won against Southampton. They are going to struggling Crystal Palace, and you would say United are gonna come away with an easy win. But this is Manchester United we are talking about. It's never really easy for them at the moment. It has been the same story. They play very good 1 week, and the next week they become dreadful. I really don't want to jinx it, but I think Crystal Palace might go on and get that win against United. I'm gonna not you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and predict it. I think United are gonna suffer their 3rd defeat of the season, and the meltdown is gonna be crazy on social media. I'm like, it is quite a tricky one to call, but because as in my prediction, I thought United were gonna have a great season. I predicted them to finish 3rd, but they are. It's Manchester United. I really don't know which United is gonna turn up. The one that can easily go ahead and destroy mid-table teams like Crystal Palace, or the United that likes to self harm themselves and give away silly goals and make make mistakes that result into goals. So I really don't know which United is gonna turn up. But you know what, just for the fun of it, I will go ahead and I think Crystal Palace get a 1-0 cheeky win against Manchester United. Moving on to the Sunday's games, it's Brighton versus Nottingham Forest. Now both of these teams had quite an exciting weekend last week, because both of the results were not that everybody expected. Both these teams are still undefeated. I really did not think it was going to happen. I thought Brighton's season was going to be a little bit struggling, and Nottingham Forest, everybody expected them to be in a relegation scrap at the moment, but they have started the season really good. Both are on the same points. Both have played for 1-2, drawn 2, so they are basically equal at the points. And as I said last week, Liverpool Forest got that huge win, shocking win against Liverpool, winning at Anfield for after almost 60 years. So that was such a big win for them, and like I said, nobody really expected that to happen. So it was quite a big result, a shocking result for them. On the other hand, it was Brighton versus Ipswich. Brighton were at home, and almost everybody expected Brighton to go ahead and win that game, but they were not able to. They drew that game. So both the teams gave us shocking results last weekend. So this week again, Brighton are at home and Forest are going there. Forest would be really on top of the world. They would be filled with confidence, and their start of the season has been really good as well. Brighton really would want to get a win. They know that get those European the fight for those European places is really tough, and they would be kicking themselves that they lost out on 2 easy points against Ipswich. And I don't want to say the same thing about Forest. They have started really good, but as a Brighton side who wants to get back into Europe, in the European places, whether it be the Champions League, the Europa League, or even the Conference League, whatever league they want to get back to Europe. And for a team like that, they need to win against Forest, especially at home, and I think Brighton are gonna do that. Unfortunately for Forest, their win undefeated streak is gonna come to end this weekend. I think Brighton win this 2-1. I think it will be quite a fun game, quite a close game. Brighton edge it out 2-1, and we end weekend with a huge game against the between Manchester City and Arsenal. Before we get to the game, like I'm just gonna say it out. I'm not that I'm an Arsenal fan, but I would just say it is a horrendous thing for Arsenal. Like the fixture list, whoever came up with that fixture for the Champions League game needs to be asked like what was in your mind when you made these fixtures. Like Arsenal, they went away to Spurs last weekend, then they go away to Italy on a Thursday night. They come back, and now 2 days again they have to, like, Thursday night they went there, they played the game. It was a tough game, and then there was just on Friday and Saturday. Now again Sunday they have to go away against Manchester City of all people. It's going to be basically a title deciding game early on. It's such a big game, a huge game, like with big implications for the Premier League, for Arsenal, for City as well. Like such a big game, and they have in a way scored it up before we have even kicked the ball. But that is another thing. So I know it's a big problem, but let's concentrate on the game. I'm just saying that people like the people in charge making this schedule should at least use a brain and be fair to everybody. I've seen the games throughout European League. There's not like any single team who had a tough game who played on a Thursday or who played in Champions League and now have a tough game in their domestic league, whether it's Bundesliga, La Liga, League One, Serie A, you name any single league, no one team has a tough game. You can say that Juventus are playing Napoli, but Juventus are home. They were home in the Champions League as well. So like that sort of, there's like no traveling baggage for them. And last week Juventus did not have a tough game. So Arsenal have been I've been put in a bad place in a way, but we cannot do anything about it. So let's talk about the game. It is Manchester City, it is Arsenal. City are undefeated till now. Arsenal should have been undefeated, but they drew that game against Brighton courtesy of a stupid ref. So I think it is going to be quite a good game. I think City are gonna come out guns blazing. I think they are gonna attack. They have been really good. Haaland is on another level, already 9 goals for him. I think this will be a big game. He has not really performed against Arsenal. Saliba and Gabriel have in a way always been able to keep him calm. So I think that battle is going to be very interesting. Arsenal, of course, they are missing Odegaard. Like he is such an important and crucial player. So we are missing him already in the 2 games that he is not played. The creativity is really missing for Arsenal. I'll be very honest with you. Marino himself is not there as well. So I think it is going to be a tough game. We already know how Arteta is gonna play. The same way he played against Spurs, the same way he played against Atalanta. I think he's gonna go there and he's gonna make sure that Arsenal don't lose. And I think that is what I think is gonna happen. The reason I would be really happy if Arsenal go ahead and win that game. I'll be very honest with you. But I really don't see that happening. I think the other Arsenal players are gonna go there with the mindset that we don't concede. That is the main thing. That's Arsenal are gonna go there with. That is going to be the game plan. We just sit back and we hold our position and we frustrate Manchester City and then try to hit them on the counter. And if we are able to do that, we have the players like Saka who can in an instant change the directions of the game. It will be quite interesting. Sterling is going back to City as well for the first time with Arsenal. So you might know, late on he might be the one gets that cheeky goal against City and we come away with 3 points. But if that happens, that will be really fun. But I'm not going to go with that. I'm going for I think it might turn out to be a boring game, but the biggest game of Premier League might turn out to be a boring game. But I think it is going to be like that. I'm going for a 0-0 draw between Arsenal and Manchester City. That is it for me. These are my predictions for the Premier League this weekend. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. You can make your predictions in the comments as well, and you can play along with me, and we're gonna see how many points we can get at the end of the weekend, and we'll see who did it better. My predictions were better or yours. You can play along in the comment section below. Like the video, share it as well, click on the notification bell, and of course subscribe to the channel. We are trying to get to 300 subs before the month of September ends. We are just 100 subs away in 9 days. It's a quite a big task, to be very honest with you, but let's hope we go ahead and are able to achieve our task and get those subscribers, and try to make this, which is at the moment looking really hard. Let make it we are able to achieve at that task. That is it from me. Until next time, bye bye.